So we're covering the BFI London Film Festival 2020. So many amazing titles this year. Look who it is. It's Raj Rudol from EQ Music Blog. We are Boys and Film, of course, together. How are you doing, Raj?
Good. Almost. It's the last day of the festival. I'm a little sad.
Yeah, I feel a bit bittersweet because we've seen some incredible films, but I always hate it when the festivals come to a close because we've had such an amazing time over the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, surprisingly enough, with it being totally online this year, I've quite enjoyed the runaround and making sure you're ready to go at certain times, and almost just like the festival without being in a dark theater. Yeah,
the suspense of making sure you click on that player just in time, because obviously it's not there forever. In fact, it's only there for an hour, I think, isn't it? The press screenings that we've had.
Yeah, which has been a little nice because if I was running late, no big deal.
You can play catch up. Exactly. I was really excited about seeing this film. I don't know about you, but I love Frances McDormand. There's something about her on-screen presence that makes you feel like it's a genuine performance as well, because it feels real to me. It feels like there's a lot of depth with her acting. I've always felt that with stuff that she's been in before, stuff like Fargo and obviously Three Billboards that we both enjoyed. This film, again, it feels like her presence just takes over completely.
Yeah, well, it does. I mean, she is the main star of the film, but she also produced it, so she's got a vested interest in the film. I always know when Frances McDormand is on the billing that it's going to be a good movie. I've never seen her in anything bad. Have you?
No, I haven't. I was just trying to think that before we started filming this. I was trying to think of something that she's been in that I haven't enjoyed, and I can't think of anything. But I always find her characters that she portrays. I mean, she's always cast so brilliantly in these stories, because I find that there's like a darkness in her personality that you can't really see or hear it. Do you know what I mean? It seems to be like a hidden depth. That it's a mysterious type of person that you don't really know too much about, and I think it's the same with this film as well.
Yeah, absolutely. It's she has a real way of capturing essence of her characters that just radiates off the screen. So I just love everything about her.
So she plays a woman called Fern who's grieving the loss of her husband and also losing their home as well in Empire in Nevada. Well, she lives in a van. That's how she survives. She seems to kind of just get on and do it though. This is a woman who's getting over the death of her husband, but you just feel that she's a bit of a doer. You feel that she just needs to kind of cope somehow. She doesn't there's no self-pity.
Yeah, and I was really impressed with the organization of, the whole community behind this band of nomads. They know at certain times of the year they go to Amazon, do Amazon work, and they look out for each other and, help each other with jobs. And, I think that's what is the best part about this film, is that sense of community. I feel like I learned a lot about that lifestyle by watching this.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing, because I think, if anything, this film will make people kind of view other people differently. I think it's got a sense of humanity, isn't it? I think it will change people's kind of behaviours.
Absolutely. I 100% agree.
Did you find it odd, though, that Amazon featured so prominently, kind of, especially at the beginning? Because obviously she goes from job to job. She's picking up jobs where she can, and these jobs don't last a very long time. She'll go from one to the other. But with the Amazon job, it just felt like... I was just surprised that it featured like that, because obviously with these jobs, you don't always get that business as such. It's not like a kind of advert. It felt very kind of product placement to me.
Yeah, a little bit. But I think maybe that might have something to do with it, because they didn't paint that job or Amazon workers in a negative light whatsoever.
Yeah.
And it was very much focused on the seasonal work. So I imagine that they were doing these jobs when they need the extra help during Christmas and the holidays. But yeah, most of the time when films are made that even hint that it's Amazon, it's usually in a negative light, and the negative, situations that come out of being worker bees. But it was really the character pieces and the people who were working there. So I was, I was a bit surprised that it didn't paint it in a negative light, and mainly showed the positives, out of this nomadic lifestyle. I was even down to the I'm on the Amazon list for parking my RV. Like, it was very well organized.
Yeah.
How these people get along. So
I suppose you're right, though. I suppose it was about the people. It wasn't so much about the business. It wasn't about Amazon as such. It was just obviously that was the company that she was working for. But I was just surprised that it was so obvious. It was so obviously Amazon.
There was they did show a big Amazon sign. It reminded me of "Sorry I Missed You," and sort of that storyline, which highlighted a lot of the negative aspects of that type of work, but. It was kind of nice to see that, she actually got a sense of community from the people who worked there. And you got to see a little bit of the people that actually worked there. It all felt very real to me.
Yeah, so. Absolutely. Yeah, I agree. Because I think this was a person that, to me, felt like she was not a loner as such, but she was just getting on and dealing with things on her own. And she didn't really have that much support from people around her. She just seemed to kind of get on and do it. But you do see her, meeting these people and becoming friends with these people and becoming really close to them. And I found that really touching. It also made me kind of question how I would cope in a similar situation, how I would deal with material possessions, because we have these niceties around us, but I suppose if you're in that position and you choose to get rid of those, it completely changes your outlook on life, and it makes you become a different person almost, and appreciate things, appreciate nature. And that's what I got from it, was that she was doing that.
Well, there could be an underside to all this too, Phil. If it actually gets, when it gets picked up for distribution, you see Amazon Studios on the marquee. Oh, yeah. Then you know that was done on purpose. So
we'll know then, I suppose.
So.
Did you rate her performance in this? Because, like we said before, I we can't think of anything bad that she's been in, especially when it comes to her acting ability.
No. I mean, you know what you're getting with a Frances McDormand film, and I always feel that she always delivers. And this character was a little gruff. She was a little bit, standoffish with other people. You could tell that she didn't want anything from anybody. Yeah. She tried to keep the niceties, but she didn't let too many people in. And I guess that's a fear of loss. And especially this lifestyle with, she loses a couple people, well, at least one person along the way. So, and you just felt that realness and rawness when, I forget the guy's name, but, he tries to he fancies her a little bit. David
Strathairn, is it?
I liked his character, but she was not about to let him in.
No.
And you really had to chip away at the layers to get to her. So very complex character. I just really enjoyed the performance.
But you know what? That's why I loved her performance so much, because she was like that. But when she was faced in a situation where someone gave her something or she was in a happy place, you really saw her face light up. And you kind of don't for the first half hour, 45 minutes. You see her, obviously struggling, but getting on with things. But you do see real joy in her face. And it's fleeting moments. And I suppose that is life, isn't it? Because you do have fleeting moments of joy. It's not a barrel of laughs all the time, I suppose.
Yeah, totally.
What did you get with the sense of the nomad lifestyle? Because it's something that I don't really know that much about. And I think, like I say, I think it will change people's perceptions of people that do live a lifestyle such as this.
Well, I think... in a lot of ways, especially in the Instagram world, it's, there are people who say that they're nomads, but they're all doing international travel and going to India and finding themselves. And that's not really the nomad lifestyle. Yeah. I think the nomad lifestyle is what we saw in this film, because it's dirty. It's tough. It's cold nights in an RV. And so, a lot of people don't see that side of it. And a lot of people would say that that's living rough. One of the big standout quotes from the film for me was when the little girl said, "Oh, my mommy says that you're a homeless," and she's like, "I'm not homeless, sweetheart. I'm just houseless." So,
I loved that line as well. It was really powerful, wasn't it?
Amazing. Yeah. So I think it's going to shine a light on, this community and what it's like to live in this community, and the motivations for people living in this community. Because we're only, as the world goes into economic downfall, lots more people are thrown into poverty, and some may choose to do this sort of thing. It's just like some people live their life all in debt all the time, just paying bills. And I could understand people just saying, "Oh, f it, I'm going to go on the open road and get an RV." So,
and also when you bear in mind her age as well. I mean, this is a woman who, she was told to, or advised to, go into early retirement. I'm guessing she was late 50s. I don't know how old Frances McDormand is in real life. I'm guessing maybe a similar age. But, there's also that aspect as well, that these are older people who choose to kind of not get rid of a lot of things, but just live a simpler, more enjoyable life.
Yeah, but it's scary. No health insurance and, but no ties either. So, it's just interesting, like her family and everyone who wanted to help her, she just kept pushing them away. And maybe there was happiness. Some people just prefer being on their own and taking care of themselves and just getting by.
I guess it's pride as well, isn't it? And a feeling of self-sufficiency, a feeling that you can accomplish things on your own, maybe with a bit of support, but obviously you want to have that kind of thought of, I don't know, just being able to deal with things. So, some people are like that, I think. Some people, that's in their makeup.
Yeah, totally.
Well, I mean, I thought it was thought-provoking, actually, but I really enjoyed it. I found it quite a fascinating movie in terms of how people behave too. I think a lot of people are going to change their thoughts. I think it's quite a compassionate film. I loved it. It's one of my favourite films this year. I'm going to give it 9 out of 10.
Yeah, I would definitely give it a 9 out of 10 as well. I think it's an important film that everyone needs to watch. It's certainly going to be up for awards. I mean, this isn't one of those films that was made for award season. So I just hope it gets the distribution that it deserves. Unfortunately, I think it's probably going to go to streaming in this day and age, because it's not, massive blockbuster material, and, still a lot of the important markets are closed. But, as people get more used to watching films online, I think this is an important one to seek out and watch. And I thought it was presented very well online for a film. I didn't have any complaints about not seeing it in a theater. So.
Yeah, same here. And I also want to see a follow-up. It's one of those films where I was invested in the people so much that I want to see more. It's like I want to go back to that story and find out what's happened to these people.
Nomadland 2.
But yeah, I thought it was fantastic. Let us know if you're going to watch this film, if you've seen it already. We've got so much other content centred around the BFI London Film Festival this year. We'll be back for more of that very soon on this channel, so make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. Good to see you, Raj.
See you, pal.